I mulch garden beds for one reason: water. 2 raised beds. Same soil, same seeds, the same July sun. I watered them both, then a shift swallowed my wheat and I did not touch either for 10 dry days. When I got back, one bed was cracked gray dust. The other was still damp under the surface. The difference cost me nothing. I am McCall, a bus driver who gardens on a timetable. Today, why bare soil throws your water away. Water away. Here is the thing nobody tells you about bare soil. It is not a passive box that just holds water and waits. It behaves more like the wick of a candle. The sun heats the top layer, the wind lifts the moisture off it, and the surface dries out. Then the dry topsoil pulls the wetter water up from below by capillary action, layer after layer, and hands it to the sky. A wick does not burn once and stop. It keeps drawing fuel up to the flame. Bare soil keeps drawing your water up to the air, all day, every day, long after you have gone to work. And it is not just the soil. Every weed you leave standing is a second pump. Its roots drink from your root zone, and its leaves breathe that water straight out through the surface. So a patch of naked, weedy soil is losing water 2 ways at once, from the ground and from the greenery you did not plant. Now think about how we are taught a tidy garden should look. Bare earth, hoed clean, not a leaf out of place. We have been sold neatness as good gardening, but that clean brown surface is the single leakiest thing in your whole plot. Remember water-wise from the first episode? They reckon around half the water we use outdoors is wasted. A lot of that half is simply evaporating off soil we left with the lid off. So if bare soil is a wick, mulch is the lid. Mulch is just a layer of material spread over the soil. Grass clippings, bark chips, leaf mold, garden compost, anything that covers the bare surface. And it does 3 quiet jobs at once. First, it shades the ground. The sun hits the mulch instead of the soil, so the surface underneath stays cool, and cool soil loses water far slower than hot soil. Second, it kills the wind at the surface. Under that layer sits a band of still, damp air trapped against the soil, safe from any breeze that would whip the moisture away. Third, it breaks the wick. When water tries to rise up from below, it meets the underside of the mulch and mostly stays put in the bed instead of carrying on into the open air. There is a bonus too. A good layer blocks the light that weed seeds need, so you get far fewer of those second pumps stealing water in the first place. Shade, still air, a broken wick, and fewer weeds, all from a barrow of grass clippings. Picture a bus left idling in the depot, heater running, not a single passenger aboard. That is bare soil in a heat wave, burning fuel, carrying nobody. Mulch turns the engine off. One honest warning, mind. A light shower lands on the mulch and never reaches the soil beneath, so after a dry spell, do not trust the look of it. Push a finger underneath and feel the real soil, the way we practiced back in episode 2. Let me take you back to those 2 beds, because that is where all this theory earned its keep for me. It was early June. I had the mower out on the allotment, and I raked up a big pile of grass clippings. I spread a good layer over the first bed. The second bed I was going to do the same weekend. Then the depot rang, a change to my rota, and the bag of clippings stayed in the shed. Then Belfast did something Belfast almost never does. It went dry and bright for 10 days straight. Now, for us, 10 dry days is practically a national event. My neighbor Mrs. Doyle was leaning over the fence talking about the drought like we were discussing the moon landings. Meanwhile, I was on the buses, nowhere near a watering can. When I finally got back to the plot, the 2 beds told the whole story. The bare one had a hard gray crust, cracked like old paint, and when I pushed a finger in, it came out dry and dusty 2 knuckles down. The mulched bed looked dull and ordinary on top, but I lifted a handful of the clippings, and underneath it was cool and dark and damp, like the underside of a stone. Same soil, same sun, no rain for either. The only thing different was the lid. Now, I will be honest with you, 2 beds on 1 allotment is not a science trial, but it lined up exactly with what the books say about evaporation. And the best part is you can run the same test in your own garden for free. So let us say I have talked you into it. What do you actually use, and how much? The good news is the best mulches are usually free. Grass clippings from your own mowing, fallen leaves left to rot down into leaf mold, homemade garden compost. You can buy bark chips or composted bark if you want something tidier, but you do not have to spend a penny to start. Depth is where people get it wrong. A light dusting does almost nothing. A sprinkle you can still see the soil through is like icing sugar on a cake. It looks the part and changes nothing. What you want is a proper duvet, somewhere between 2.5 and 5 centimeters deep. Thick enough that light cannot reach the soil. Thin enough that rain and air can still move through it. 3 quick rules, and you are away. 1. Put the lid on a full pot, not an empty one. Mulch traps whatever state the soil is already in, so lay it down when the ground is already moist, just after good rain or a proper soaking, not onto bone-dry ground. 2. Keep it off the stems. Leave a little collar of clear space around the base of plants and trunks because damp mulch piled against a stem can rot it. 3. Top it up. Organic mulches break down and feed the soil as they go, which is exactly what heavy clay is crying out for, so just add more next season. Now, I said mulch was cheap and simple, and mostly it is. But there is one corner of it that gardeners will genuinely argue about for hours. If you run a soaker hose or a drip line along a bed, should you bury it under the mulch or leave it sitting on top? I found one post asking exactly that, and it went off. Over 500 people weighed in, with more than 260 comments, and the two camps dug in hard. One side says bury it, put the hose under the mulch, and you cut evaporation even further, because the water goes straight into covered soil and the surface never sees the sun at all. The other side says leave it on top, keep it visible, they argue, and you can actually see whether it is running, spot a blockage, and check the flow, instead of finding out 3 weeks later that a whole bed went dry under the covers. I am not going to settle that particular fight today because it really belongs with the drip and soaker episodes over in the next series, and we will give it a proper hearing there. But here's the thing I want you to notice about all that arguing. Not one person in that whole thread was asking whether to mulch at all. 500 gardeners, 2 furious camps, and total agreement on the one thing that actually matters. The mulch goes down. They were only fighting about the plumbing underneath it. So where does mulch sit in the bigger picture of saving water? There is a running order to this, and almost nobody gets it right. The cheapest, laziest wins come first, and you reach for taps and timers last, not first. Here is the ladder from the ground up. Mulch is rung 1 because it is the cheapest thing on the whole list. Rung 2, improve your soil with organic matter so it holds more water in the first place. Rung 3, choose plants that actually suit your spot so they need less. Rung 4, water deeply but less often and always in the cool of the morning. Rung 5, group your thirsty pots together, out of the wind, and size them up so they hold more. Rung 6, collect rainwater in a water butt. And for an established lawn, the boldest move of all is to do nothing and let it go brown because it bounces back green when the rain returns. Look at that list again. Not one rung on it is pouring on more water, and not a single one of them costs more than a bag of bark chips. The whole trick of saving water in a British garden is to lose less before you ever pour more. The gadgets, mine included, only start to earn their keep once those free rungs are climbed. So where does a gadget like mine fit into all this? Only at the very top of that ladder, and only because of one thing the mulch cannot fix for me: my shifts. Mulch first, timer second. This is the kit I run on my own tap, the Johgee 4-zone timer. A hub sits indoors by the router and talks by radio through my brick wall to the unit on the outside tap. The mulched beds get a slow, deep drink at 6 while I am driving a bus. But a timer saves nothing if the soil it waters is lying there naked. 2 pots in a window box, you do not need it. Buy the bark before the battery.